Honorable Skhosana, it's your turn.
Thank you, Chair. And Honorable Minister Mkhwanazi.
Baba.
My first question to you, Minister, will be, can you perhaps comment on the professionalism of Major General Van Rooyen, who holds a LLD degree? He's a LLD graduate, who's on record that you acted ultra virus.
Well, the comment is contained in my submission that I didn't. And in fact, I acted within the Constitution and within the legislative framework in terms of powers of the minister.
So you disagree with her?
I disagree with her upfront.
Thank you. Do you know and understand your job as a cabinet member responsible for policing?
Yes, I do.
Do you know and understand Chapter 11, Section 206 of the Constitution of the Republic?
Yes.
All in all.
Well, I may not claim I don't want to make claims to that effect as you are taking me through.
Do you know and understand the South African Police Service Act, Act 68 of 1995 as amended?
Yes.
In the 7th administration, because yesterday you spoke in length about the 7th administration, did you meet with the provincial government, especially in KwaZulu-Natal, where these killings were prevalent, in order to determine the policing needs and their priorities as expected in terms of the Constitution of the Republic? And if so, Minister, when was such engagement and what are the priorities focused, especially in KwaZulu-Natal?
On the date on which I wrote the letter, the 31st, I had not met provincial government of KwaZulu-Natal, nor had I met any other province. But I knew that at some point I would meet with them to talk about this.
So you never met them?
You say I never?
Yeah, you never met them.
We had not met.
But you were able to disband that task team?
Yes, I was able to disband the task team because it didn't necessarily, because that's the impression that I want to remove, that it meant stopping policing in KZN. This was a team belonging to at a national level operating there, and I would engage with them at a later stage, but I had not met with them when I wrote the letter.
But do you understand that by doing so you have violated the Constitution?
By dissolving the team, a team?
No, without consulting them.
Not necessarily.
So you disagree completely as well with that? That we are within the framework of the Constitution?
Yes.
We are within the rights of the Constitution to do that without any consultation?
Yes, because it was not alpha and omega decision.
Now, Minister...
It was the beginning of a process.
Yeah, remember, Minister, that the interministerial team did not only comprise of the Minister of Police. There were other ministers involved. Do you agree on that?
There were other, you mean in the interministerial?
Yes.
Yes.
Now, you never consulted them when you wrote that letter?
In the IMC, and it was no longer there when I came in the 7th administration.
Now, in other words, because they were not there when you came in, the question now, which would be very interesting to understand, Does the Republic of South Africa have a national policing policy as envisaged in Section 2061 of the Constitution of the Republic? And if so, was this development under this GNU government, or was it developed by the previous government? Remember when we spoke about the 7th administration? Was this the GNU, or was it the previous one, the 6th administration?
That did what?
Let me ask you again. I'm saying to you, the Republic of South Africa have a national policing policy as envisaged in Section 2061 of the Constitution of the Republic. You know that we agree on that.
I hear you talking about the policing policy and at the same time the Constitution.
Yes.
Policing policy is the one that we developed after I got appointed and finalized.
Let me make things
Based
simple for you.
Based on the powers of the minister as indicated in the Constitution.
Yes.
Policing policy is the one that we developed after I got appointed and finalized.
Let me make things
Based
simple for you.
Based on the powers of the minister as indicated in the Constitution.
Jama ke akhe ngibeke ngesintu. Ake ngithi kuwe ipolicy esikhuluma ngayo le yenziwa umbuso loya we6 administration noma yenziwe umbuso lo weGNU na iplan le.
You mean the policing policy, the new one that we have adopted? Is that your question?
Exactly my question.
We engaged on that, the policing policy, after we got appointed, up to adoption, up to finalization.
Minister, since you arrived at the office as a Minister of Police, did you receive any handover briefing or a report from General Cele?
Yes, I did.
If so, can we get a copy of that?
Pardon?
Can we get a copy of that?
Yes, you can get a copy thereof.
What is your understanding of the role of the Minister of Police as per Section 206 of the Constitution? Why I'm asking this again to you, Minister? Does this role include getting involved in development of organizational structures and the establishment of units and teams within SAPS? Because yesterday you spoke about a lot of, the issue of the organogram. Are you allowed to do that, Minister?
Yes, that is part of the policing policy. That is part of the directives. That's part. Let me just say that's part of the exercise of the powers of the minister in terms of the Constitution.
So the National Commissioner has nothing to do with that. It's your prerogative.
No, he does in terms of the Constitution. It's clearly indicated.
Does this information note, Minister, which makes recommendations about the review of detective services, constitute a work study document as per organizational development standard?
Can you come again with the question?
Remember, I said you were very passionate about the organogram.
Yes.
Now here's my question. Does this informative note, which makes recommendations about the review of detective service, constitute a work study document as per organizational development standard?
Well, the information note would point to that work study that I spoke about of 2019 and the document of implementation in 2024. So that is what the information note would point to, pointing to the work study, not the note itself, but the work study itself.
If I may ask you, Minister, will the head of the organizational development, Major General Nzima, confirm what we are telling us yet?
Yes, he would confirm because he signed in some of these documents as processes were initiated and finalized.
When you say some you might not have signed them.
Well, I wouldn't know any other, but those that concerned the organizational structure, the development of the work study up to signing, he was and going on to implementation stage, he was involved as per signatures that are on documents.
In your submission, Minister, you spoke about a Kiviskroon. Am I right?
Yes.
Can you confirm who convened that meeting on the 24th of November 2024 at Kiviskroon? And my question is, what was the agenda of that meeting?
Meeting was convened by myself and the president were the deputy ministers, national commissioner, deputy commissioner, deputy national commissioners, and provincial commissioners. I don't have the agenda of hand here, but the purpose for that meeting, among other things, was to discuss issues that I felt were of deep concern to me, namely murder rate, to proliferation of firearms, and then the drugs all over the country, and concerns around GBV and F. And those are the matters that are outlined to leadership of police on that day.
So that was the agenda.
I suppose, even though I don't have the copy with me, but I think we also included a presentation by Advocate Piccoli, but I don't have the agenda.
Now, but we can get the minutes of that meeting.
Pardon?
We can get the minutes of that meeting.
Yes.
Because remember...
And the agenda.
Yeah, because we are under oath, Minister. Don't forget that. I must ask you again about that particular meeting, whereby you discuss your plan to close the PKTT and the feeling of a post of crime intelligence and border security. Was that discussed in that meeting?
Was that?
Was that discussed in that meeting? The feeling of post of crime intelligence and the border? It was not discussed?
No, it wasn't. The directives were not part of the agenda on that. It was the concerns around these 4 crimes, the 3 in particular.
Because the issue of the intelligence post and the issue of the border, which were supposed to be...
in the directives.
In the directives.
Yes.
Is those posts filled now? In other words, is there someone appointed into the post of a DG? If so, what is the name?
Post of the DG?
Yes.
Where?
Civilian Secretariat.
Oh yes, there's DG. I found there. He was there when I came.
Mr. Sibui.
Yes.
Now.
He's a doctor, Honorable Skhosana.
Yes, Dr. Sibui. Yes.
Yes.
Why did you appoint your legal advisor, Advocate Piccoli, to give presentation on the 24th in that meeting?
Now, he is not my legal advisor. He's my special advisor.
Yeah, yes, your special advisor. Yes. Yes.
The second thing is that I had no problem with him giving that. I just asked him, I approached him to give that presentation, firstly because he's an advocate, which is by coincidence that I have a special advisor who is at the same time an advocate and has a long record as a DG of justice in the country at some point.
Did you discuss that with Dr. Sibui in these 3 matters of border, security, crime intelligence, and PKTT before signing that disestablishment letter?
No, I didn't discuss with Dr. Sibui my directives, but we had meetings where he was present when we were discussing the matters, including border management.
Why did you excuse or from that meeting?
Why did I?
Being excused. Or let me put it this way. Were you chased away out of that meeting?
Myself?
Yes.
No. I was chased in. I was inside.
All the Lieutenant General from head office and divisional commissioners attended that meeting, am I right?
It was attended by a national commissioner, deputy national commissioners, and provincial commissioners, but there was miscommunication. They had included divisional commissioners, and I said, no, it was not our intention to include them.
Was it not because of the attendance of Lieutenant General Kumalo?
Not necessarily. In fact, General Kumalo remained behind, and we had a long meeting after everybody had left.
Why he remained behind when you said it was not for divisional commissioners?
No, we were going to discuss submissions that were outstanding with him, that had not been signed for a long time because of the problem in Parliament, and we remained behind to discuss those, and I signed others and left others.
My follow-up question on that: what governance structures exist in SAPS outside the BOC, as well as the Ministry of Police, which exclude divisional commissioners, who also are lieutenant generals who are based at the head office, responsible for policy implementation throughout the development of internal directives? What are the government structures which exclude them? When you say you felt that they're not supposed to be part of that meeting?
When I said they shouldn't be part of them.
No, you said earlier that you felt that it was not correct for them to be part of that meeting.
Oh, no. We convened a meeting to discuss specific matters which I wanted to bring to the attention of the National Commissioner, Deputy Commissioners, and Provincial Commissioners first. And they would then process matters involving Divisional Commissioners and other relevant structures. They would do so, but the intention was merely to bring to the attention of the National Commissioner those particular matters at that level, in that particular meeting, not because I didn't want others or didn't recognize others, but I had confined our intention to just those.
Yeah, but I've asked you earlier, I said, what governance structures exist within SAPS, outside the BOC, as well as the Ministry of Police, which exclude divisional commissioner? You didn't respond to that, Minister. Do we have anything outside that ambit?
Well, there would be forums, because your question is quite open. There would be forums at different levels in provinces that you convene. There would be provincial forums that you would convene outside that, but I don't regard them as definable as outside necessarily. We have met, and our meetings in provinces has taken different forms at different stages.
Let me put it to you that the purpose of that meeting in Kiviskron, as well as your presentation, including the one that Advocate Pikoli presented on the day, did not cover the disestablishment of the PKTT, the suspension of filling of vacancies within crime intelligence, and matters of border security, as per your 31st December letter. Do you agree on that?
That meeting was somehow a precursor of the 31st. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Not necessarily. They were not linked. The meeting at Kiviskron was to register and discuss the concerns on the rate of murder, on the escalation of, or on the proliferation of firearms and drugs. And remember, up to that time, I had never had time to deal with these matters in depth. And I was then wanting the generals to share the concern that I had, as they did afterwards, one by one. And it was leading to other things. Not at that time, I didn't even have a thought about disbandment in any way. But it was at that time to focus us on the rate of murder, which was a concern shared by everybody in the country. And I wanted us to stop a little bit and think what it means when we have that kind of murder rate, including on scaring investment or potential investments in the country, and even picked up by Cabinet that crime in South Africa is quite high and it's very concerning. And therefore, I wanted us to find time and deepen our understanding on this matter. So it had nothing to do with what you are saying, Honorable Member.
On contrary, Minister, the letter was influenced by someone for other motive, hence the rush to write and dispatch it on the 31st after 5 p.m., where there's nobody at the office, at the national office. There was no one. You can comment if you want on this remark. But to me, it means one day the minister can wake up and write a letter and disband anything he wants and say he's acting within his right. The Constitution allows him, if you can do that without any consultation whatsoever.
No, I have demonstrated that the matters raised in the directives were not necessarily new matters. They are matters that had been under discussion for a long time within the department and in various platforms at different occasions. They were not new at all. What was new was actually putting them in a form of a directive, as I did. But the issues themselves and concerns around those issues was old as you and I are, if not even older. For instance, where included border management, that matter has been around for a long time and it's still there, and people are still being killed. You know that even recently, no less than, I would say, 5 people in a week got murdered around Mkhwanazi and so on. So it's an ongoing matter that is being raised in various platforms all the time. That I would have needed a particular time and a particular table and a particular, I would contest that. But I would also contest that I simply woke up and started writing. I had been processing these matters in my own head to say, how best can we handle this matter, and so on. So it was just the culmination of a particular process I had engaged on myself, as opposed to just waking up and writing. But I deny very strongly that there's any link between the meeting of the 24th and that one and the letter of the 31st.
But do you agree that PKTT was a successful task team?
Yes.
And why not replicate it, to get involved in the issues, if it's you, in terms of taxi killings and murders, which are happening in this country, particularly where we are in Cape Town, in the KK flats, the numbers are scary.
That's okay. Exactly what I said earlier. Not necessarily duplicating, literally. But what I agree on and I see rationality on is the result of the work study in 2019, where you say structure subs along these lines after a work study. Remember, the PKTT arose not from a work study, it arose from an intervention by the president. And it was then, discussed, but it worked. as one of the factors contributing. But to say you could, you don't have resources to duplicate that. You don't have resources unless you do away with, for instance, the 2 units, the organized crime unit. You do away with the other unit, that is violent crimes, the unit on violent crimes. You will need to do away with that. And then you have a team, which I wouldn't think that you would keep permanent. So you rather look at the model and you duplicate the model, not the actual structure, because the structures are there. And you need to look at sustainability.
Yes, Minister.
You look at budgets and so on.
Yeah, let me ask for us to move because of time. I will have added on that to say you can as well reduce the issue of VIP protection. I would have said that if I was a minister, to say I will have reduced and get a little bit of money from the VIP protection. But that's a debate for another
Why
day.
not? You together with me are members of the portfolio committee, and we can talk about that and see if it's feasibility.
Yeah, it's possible, Minister. But let's continue, Minister. The issue of, when I said to you, Section 11 and Section 12 of SAPS Act 68 of 1995. This above section gives powers to both the National Commissioner and Provisional Commissioners, including to organize or reorganize the service at national level into various components and units or groups. Do you agree on that? Not you. The National Commissioner and the Provincial Commissioner. Do you agree on that? Yes or no?
No, don't say yes or no. Say I must respond. And then
No, I don't want to respond. I want an answer this time, because when you respond, Minister, we are not going to end it today. But you can respond. Let me listen to you.
No, you are giving me a multi-choice where I have my own view. And my own view is that, yes, those powers, but within policy of the minister and all of that. That is the only addition that I want to make.
But do you agree?
Yes or no?
But do you agree that what I've mentioned to you is the competent of the National Commissioner and the Provincial Commissioner?
Subject to
you.
To powers of the minister on policing policy. Because that's how the Constitution is written. I don't want us to write another.
No, we'll get to that, Minister.
Okay.
Now that you have listened to Nkabinde and General Mkhwanazi illegal obtained voice recording, which we have spoken about here, did Mkhwanazi threaten you?
Did he threaten me?
Yes.
Now, I felt that he was threatening me if the conversation between him and Mr. Nkabinde is true, as he related to me at the time when it was happening. Firstly, saying that he is angry. So, and then secondly, if the minister is clean, it suggested a lot of other things. If the minister is clean, and so on. So I felt that he was actually issuing threats. And it was undue, because the letter was not written to him in the first place. It was written to the National Commission. So I felt it was threatening. Whether I got threatened or not threatened is a different matter. But I felt that they were threatening.
Minister, we earlier discussed the issue of the recording, that what we listened yesterday, we found nothing threatening you. And what we are saying now is exactly what General Sibia said when my colleague asked him, Uguti, uyiphasile or uyifailile? And you know what happened when there was that conversation?
Yeah,
General Sibia said that yebo angiphasanga kodwa. So we are doing the same thing. My question is simple to you. Let me put it again to you. When we listen to the recording, there's no way General Mkhwanazi has threatened you. Do you agree or you are changing? Because you responded earlier. I'm asking this question deliberately to say, on record again, don't contradict yourself on this question. The question is simple. That when he spoke to, because we listened to that, there was no threat. Unless we are changing, we say there was a threat there because you say he was angry.
The threat was not in the audio that we listened to. There was only a reference, but the threat was in their conversation on the 2nd. That's where the threat was. And I thought it had been recorded. And I found that it was not part of what was recorded because it happened before the recording.
No, but Minister,
it was not in this record.
No, but Minister, you're misleading us again. You know, same as the issue where the bodyguard was shot, then you said the other guy. I'm talking about your submission. It's not us who brought in this document. Now we are saying there's another a recording perhaps somewhere, but we don't have in your submission. You don't have that. So for me, it's speculative. You know, for me, it doesn't hold water where we are because we don't have that. But for the sake of progress, let's come to the issue of crime intelligence and the Inspector General of Intelligence.
Let's not debate that matter. We have ruled on it.
Thank you, Chair. At least you must help the minister there because really, yeah. But let's come to crime intelligence and the Inspector General of Intelligence Investigating Directorate Against Corruption and Independent Police Investigating Directorate. Do you know and understand the role of crime intelligence in terms of profiling people?
Yes.
Do you know and understand the role of Inspector General of Intelligence, IGI?
Yes.
Do you know and understand the purpose and functions of IDEC?
Yes.
Are you aware that General Mkhwanazi spoke here about the rogue? Some of the people at IDEC are rogue. Do you agree or you disagree with that?
Well, I don't know anything about that, but I heard him.
What I'm saying, it was for the first time. You were hearing it for the first time here.
That there are people who are rogue, there are people who are not
who are harassing, yes, who are harassing people, yes. Who are arresting, who are like you, they say they'll arrest you as well, yes.
I was hearing that for the first time. I had not heard it before.
So there's no any correspondent to your office, to the Chief of Staff or to the National Commissioner, which was discussed about the issues of IDEC?
Not that I can recall.
At all?
Not that I can recall.
Thank you. Do you know and understand the role and the purpose of IPAD?
Yes.
Who do they report to? IPAD.
IDEC report to NPA, to the Director of Public Prosecutions National.
Yeah. If so, why didn't you refer Patricia Mashale matter to crime intelligence instead of IGI? The Patricia matter, which he wrote a letter. We have your submission here. Yes.
On various occasions, when Patricia would write whatever she writes on whatever platform, she included intelligence most of the time. This about intelligence, that about intelligence. And I thought it fit that I should ask the person who is Inspector General on Intelligence to look into the matter.
But earlier, Minister, you said when I asked you that, do you understand the role of crime intelligence? You said yes. And I asked you about the role of the Inspector General. You say yes.
Yes.
But you took the matter of Patricia to a wrong agent.
Not Patricia Delil, Honorable Member.
I mean, Patricia Mashale.
Please correct it.
Not really.
And apologize to...
Not really,
Honorable Skhosana, may you please apologize to...
Yeah, no, I apologize for mentioning Patricia Delil. Is Patricia Mashale?
No, not really, Honorable Member. On a serious note, Skhosana, I saw nothing wrong in saying to the Inspector General of Intelligence, can you look at this person because she often writes on matters of intelligence. I just want to know who she is because I'd never come across her and so on. I needed to know. And he didn't say it doesn't fall within my scope or whatever. He did what I requested him to do.
Yeah, but as I said, it doesn't matter, Minister, even if he has done that. But it was referred to a wrong person. And Patricia Mashile is not an expert of intelligence. Do you agree on that?
No. I didn't want the IGI to write on her expertise. I just wanted to know, who is this person?
Now, is it true that Sissoka took that case docket of iPad to IDEC? Are you aware of that? Have you ever heard about that?
That what happened?
Yes, that Sissoka took the case dockets from iPad to IDEC. Are you aware of that case?
Patricia Mashale.
No, Sissoka. I'm talking about Sissoka now.
Soccer matters?
Yes.
Well, I'm not aware.
You're not aware?
Yeah, I've never come across anything that I read that pertains to that from her.
Let's come to your chief of staff. How long do you know Mr. Nkabinde?
I know him from...
Just a moment. Are you in the same frequency?
No, I am. I'm done. I'm done with that because if he doesn't answer.
You say Sissoka.
Yes, I said Sissoka, yes.
And then he says soccer matters.
No, I didn't say soccer matters. I heard it. Chief of staff, as I ask you about your chief of staff, how long do you know Mr. Nkabinde?
I know him from 2017.
Is he a member of the African National Congress?
Well, I don't know.
Are you sure that you don't know about that?
I'm sure. I don't know. Just like I'm not sure whether you're a member of MKP yourself.
Oh, okay. So I should not be sure that you're a member of the ANC yourself?
Yes, because I haven't shown you my card.
No, I can show you my card as well.
Then I will know.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, is it true that you first met Nkabinde? Because my colleague asked about this thing. And I think it was the issue of Robert McBride. Is it true that the first time you met him, he was accompanied by Robert McBride? Can you confirm that?
Yes, I confirm that. I don't know who was accompanying who, but it was two of them that came to my home after I had written a letter to IPIT at National.
What was the purpose of the visit?
It was to discuss my complaint.
At your house? At your house?
Yes, at Mbangil.
Is it true that you were implicated in a murder case which involved one of your bodyguards that IPAD were investigating?
No, IPAD was not investigating that matter. You and I would know that they only deal with complaints on police behavior, so they were not investigating that. I had written this letter complaining to them about an investigation that I had picked up were being conducted by the Hawks on a case that had been dealt with over some time and got closed when the provincial director of public prosecution had applied their mind on.
Okay.
So then I heard that there's an investigation on the same matter taking a different form, I got worried because it would get you worried the way it was put. And therefore, I wrote this letter to say, let's be transparent. Let them be transparent. If there's anything, let them put it here, not the way it was happening. Then I wrote the letter. Then they came to address the letter. That is how we met.
So was that appropriate for them to come to your house, Robert McBride and him? Was that appropriate to discuss that matter with you at your house?
Well, in what context are you saying? Was it appropriate?
No. I can't answer for you, Minister. I'm just asking, was it appropriate for you to have that matter discussed with you at your house if you were concerned? Because we have institution when we are not happy, like every citizen, because we are all equal before the law. That if there's a matter that I can really do like what you did.
I wrote this letter. They responded and they said, we will meet at your house on such a day, such a time.
Okay.
And it happened.
Is it a common practice, Minister, or the job description of the Chief of Staff to get involved in making inputs on departmental matters?
Chair.
Now,
Sorry. I think he's asking a very important question, which I will want to just get a clarity of the minister. Is it a practice that when people have returned to IPIT take cars and goes to people's houses that have complained to the IPIT? Is that a practice? I mean, I'm hearing you say they said they are coming to your house and all of that. In line with what he said, we're all equal before the law. Is it a practice that when you complain to IPIT, they drive to your house to come and ask you about your complaint, or they invite you to the offices to come and take the matters forward, as it were, Minister?
I would say as a response, they are the ones who are best placed to answer that question, because I might respond in a particular way and be wrong and say it is not their practice, only to find that they have examples where they would have done that. Or I would say it's not the practice, it was only an exception with me. And they would say, no, but we have done the same. So I would want to play it safe and say, we rather direct the question to them in terms of their own practice.
So it's correct to say the Minister of Police doesn't know how IPIT operates?
On this particular issue, I haven't looked at their matter, but not to say the minister doesn't know how IPIT operates.
Minister, you are sitting there. People want to know. We are talking to a minister. Part of your responsibility when you are sitting there is to educate society. We are asking about the practice of IPIT. Take the opportunity as a minister of police to educate people about how IPIT operate. You can't say become subjective all of a sudden because somehow you're involved. I'm asking about general practice so we can be able to distinguish between what happened to you and what happens to the rest of us.
Now, I am saying in response, the best people to answer that question is them. Now, this particular specific matter, because I haven't checked it with them.
Thank you so much. We can allocate extra time later if you still want to pursue the matter. We must go back to Honorable Skhosana because his time is no more.
No, not yet. I'm watching the time. I'm watching the time. I know I'm not a timekeeper, but I'm watching. Thank you, Chair. The following up question on that, Minister. Phala was classified, but it looks like you are saying the IPIT. How was Phala classified?
I don't know. It was classified by IPIT. The only time I got to know that it was classified was when one of the members of parliament asked me a question, whether it is classified. I can't remember the actual question. And then I went to IPIT to say, can you brief me about this matter, advise me about the response here? And they said, no, Minister. This was classified by us for the following reasons. They outlined the reasons. And then I answered accordingly. It was not classified by Minister. And I see out there's a wrong impression that Minister Mchunu classified IPIT. There can't be any matter far from the truth than that one. This was classified by IPIT, and as per their competence, Minister can't classify, doesn't have power to do so.
Now, the last part, two quick questions to you, and my last remark will be, did you receive any email from Honorable Adams complaining about a possible interference of SAPS, Western Cape, GP provincial commissioners on the cases that were registered on the 29th and the 31st of October 2024 respectively? And did you receive a response letter from the National Commissioner about Mr. Adams' complaint early in November 2024?
Yes.
You did?
Yes.
Now, let me put this to you, Minister. That we have interfered with the prescript of the law by getting involved in the structural design of the South African Police Service by undermining 207(2) and 4 of the Constitution and Section 11 and Section 12 of SAPS Act, which empowers both the national and the provincial commissioner to manage and control the police service. Do you agree?
I don't agree because...
so you see nothing wrong which you have done on this matter?
Provided we are one in what you understand me to have done, and I need to explain it. We received, not even myself personally, but it was received by my office through Chief of Staff. And I then said, well, if it's like that, send, which we normally do, send that letter to National Commissioner. And he sent the letter to the National Commissioner who responded. But then there was another letter which was expressing his frustration, if I could call it that, about some matters he had complained about, and wanting somebody else to look at his matters. And that letter was sent to IDAC. That's the only thing that happened.
My last one, Chair, is that what you told us earlier. You said that Mkhwanazi WhatsApp request is not part of the SAPS governance structure. Hence, you didn't convene a meeting, but you convened a meeting between General Mkhwanazi and Sibiya in June 2025 at your official residence. Now, the minister called a meeting between Sibiya, Mkhwanazi, and Masemula. You remember that? That you call that meeting,
yes.
As you said.
Yes.
What happened during that meeting? And what was the main agenda from that meeting?
So I first held the meeting between National Commissioner and that is General Masemula and General Sibiya, and said if there are matters that are unresolved between them and therefore require to be discussed, let's discuss them, because those matters, whatever they are beginning to interfere with work that we are all here to do, including them. And there was a discussion. Sibiya outlined his concerns or his issues. National Commissioner responded in basically saying, look, I understand what you are saying. I don't have any intention to have any problems with anyone. And let us take it that whatever you were concerned about, is now resolved between you and me. That's how the meeting ended. Now,
thank you so much. We will come back at 16 hours.